you're the most prepared person I've ever had for a trial flight.
Thank you.
I'm just going to make sure our backup has popped in. Yep, there we go. That's on. Alrighty, so now what I need to do is I just need to get our ATIS, so our terminal information.
Right, arrivals and departures north, frequency 123.6. Runway 28 left, arrivals and departures south, frequency 118.1. Circuit runway 28 right. Helicopter area Alpha active. Taxiway Alpha between taxiways Alpha 4 and Alpha 5 not available due works in progress. Wind 230 degrees 8 knots, Cap OK. Temperature 19er, QNH 1022. On first contact with Arch Ground or Tower, note for receipt of information, Echo. Terminal information, Echo, runway 28 right, arrivals and
Arch Ground, Sling 8489 is at the southern apron for a southern departure. Dual received Echo, request taxi.
Sling 8489, Grand Gate to you, taxi to holding point Alpha 1, runway 28 left, time 23.5.
Taxi to holding point Alpha 1, 28 left, Sling 8489. Alright, so let's go.
Okay.
Alright, so just check my brakes before we get going.
Right for the next departure, Sid Echo.
Fox 5350, Grand Gate to you, taxi to holding point Bravo 1, runway 28 right, time 24.
Right, you're Fox 5050.
Alright, just put this in there. Alright, so we've got a controlled aerodrome here. Do you know much about Archfield?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so tell me what you know about Archfield.
It has 4 runways, I think. 28 left and right.
Yes.
And I forgot the other 2.
So there's 28 and 10, alright, because obviously they need to be 180 degrees from each other, because our runways need to be straight. And then we've got 04 and 22. We don't use them very often, only if we've got a really strong breeze on like a winter afternoon or a summer afternoon or something. But 9 times out of 10, the preferred runway is runway 28. So probably 90% of the time I'm using runway 28, alright?
Yeah.
Okay, so now with our Sling, usually when we taxi, we pull our power back first, but we have to really watch this coolant temperature. So we keep our power up a little bit, and we use our brakes, because if our coolant temperature gets up too much, we end up cooking the engine. So we're better off going through a couple of brake pads than cooking our engine and having to get a new engine.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm just going into the 28 left run-up bay. That's our holding point Alpha 1, so that's our holding point for runway 28 left. Alright, so as I said, we're going to do a southern departure today, or a southeastern departure. But it's the track that we use for our southern departure. Alright, so I'll just stop us here, okay, and so just do our run-ups, alright? So before we go flying all the time, we have to do our run-ups. Okay, so we test our engine at 4,000 RPM, alright? So there's our RPM on the side there. Alright, so what I'm looking for is any lane errors with our generators. Alright, so our EGT's gone, our coolant temperature's gone, and our RPM is within limits. Alrighty. Okay, so our EFIS warnings on our oil temps and pressures are gone, and our RPM is within limits as well. Alrighty, excellent. So I'm just going to test our idle now. So it's always really important that we test our idle position.
Yeah.
Okay, then we go back up to about 2,000 RPM, keeping an eye on that coolant temperature. So I might just put it up to about 2,300 for the time being, just in case that gets up. Alright, now I'm going to just check our fuel pumps. Alright, make sure we've still got fuel flow and fuel pressures going on. Alrighty, you're going to feel a bit of a drop with this one. Don't be alarmed, it's normal. There we go. Alrighty. So that's why I warn everybody before we do that one. Alrighty, so now that's all good. I'm just going to check my controls, make sure we've got full correct movement. Alrighty, excellent, that's all good. I'll put my flaps out. And so I'll just identify them. make sure they're correct. Alright, now I'm just going to do my flow check so our lanes are on, there's no indications, my instruments are looking good. Alrighty, so I need my landing light now, my strobe light, my nav light, my fuel pumps are on, and I need to change my fuel tank.
Yep.
Alrighty, so any questions before we get going?
Not really.
No? Alright, let's go and have some fun, alright?
Yeah.
So as I said, I'll take off and I'll land, but once we get set up, I'll hand over to you, alright, and you can start flying for me. But it's really important that you only do what you're comfortable to do, alright?
Yes.
So I'm sure you'll be fine, but it's not a competition and don't feel like you have to do anything, alright?
Okay.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I'm so glad. Alright, I'm just going to do my radio call now. Archer Tower, Sling 8489 is ready, runway 28 left for a southern departure.
Sling 8489, Archer Tower, runway 28 left, clear for takeoff.
28 left, clear for takeoff, Sling 8489. Alright, so we've got our clearance for our takeoff. Alright, as we go into the runway, I just check everything is in the green here, and I've got my required voltage going through the generators. Alrighty, so as I turn onto my center line there, alrighty, so my compass is increasing and my ball is skidding to the left as I turn right. My eyes over there having a look at the windsock now. Alrighty, so eyes down the end of the runway, we increase our power. 1, 2, 3, 4 to full power. Using our right rudder to keep us centralized, eyes inside, airspeed is alive and rising. Alrighty. Nice and light just with the two of us on board.
Yeah.
Tower, this is November Uniform for Pass Vessel 172, currently overhead. BMTV Towers at 1,500, inbound in receipt of echo.
November Uniform for Archer Tower.
Wow.
Alright, just do a bit of a lookout and then we can intercept our track. Alright, so at Archfield, when we track outbound, we have to remain at 1,000 feet.
Yep.
Alright, because we've got inbound traffic coming in at 1,500 feet, and then we've got traffic at above us for Brisbane. Our control lower limit there is 1,500 feet, alright?
Yep.
So, just level up here. Alright. Alright, so I'm just going to trim the aircraft. Alright, so we're looking for about 5,000 RPM, plus or minus 100, because it does jump around a little bit. See how I'm not moving it, and it does jump around a little bit. About 95 knots, alright? So now let's look outside, because the big thing we're looking at is our indications outside, alright?
Yep.
So see how the natural horizon is scraping through about halfway of the screen?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so if you're comfortable with that, so see how my hands are off, and it's pretty much flying itself?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I'm going to hand over to you now. So handing over?
Handing over.
So taking over? Excellent. Alright, so just don't press that little button up there, because that's my radio button, alright? So keeping that eye on the horizon there, so keeping that half screen point there.
Yep.
Yeah, so just get a bit used to that.
Uniform, Dan Wind, full stop.
Oh, this is fun.
Sorry?
This is really cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Straight right, clear to land, Bravo X-ray uniform.
Alrighty. So just pick a point on one of those mountains there, so maybe that lighter part on the mountain.
Yep.
Do you see that? So maybe just fly towards that. So just to the right, very slightly, about there is good. So when we pick our aiming point, we just look at our control column and look straight in front of us, alright? So we don't want to be looking through our nose, because then we end up picking a point that's a bit off center actually. Alright, so just lower the nose a little bit there. So looking for about that sort of picture there. Alright. So just lower our nose a little bit. We just gained a little bit of height. It's okay, like just so long as we don't get too much more height.
Join downwind, runway 28 right.
Yeah.
Join downwind 28 right, November uniform for pass.
Lowering that nose just that little bit. Excellent, about there's good. Alright, so whenever we change our performance, we follow a work cycle, okay?
Yeah.
So there's only one time we change our work cycle, and that's at the top of climb, but for everything else we use power, attitude, speed, and then we trim our aircraft, alright?
Yeah.
So once we reach the Logan motorway, which is just in front of us there,
Yeah.
do you see that?
Yeah.
I'll get you to put your hand on the throttle, so not quite yet, I'm just explaining it to you. So you can put your hand on the throttle now if you like, and then what we'll do, like I showed you on the ground, is go to full power,
Yeah.
and then we'll put, once we're at full power, we'll put the nose on the horizon, okay? And then we will trim the aircraft. I'll do the trim today because I haven't taught you how to use that properly yet. It's fairly straightforward, but it just takes a bit of time to learn to refine it. Alright, but before we start our climb, I'm just going to get you to turn to Mount Stapleton over there. So see that mountain just to the left of our nose?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just turn there.
665, Roger, a minute start time.
Perfect. Alrighty. So now, just going to do a lookout. It's really important. Okay, so then full power. So power. Keep going all the way. And then attitude. So nose on the end of the horizon there. So just up a bit. So because we want to climb. So about there. Yep. Alright. And then I'll just take over for a second. Taking over. Just going to trim our aircraft. Alright, so about there's good. Handing over.
Taking over.
Yep, so just keep that nose on the horizon there. So a bit higher, about there, it's good. Alright, so every 500 feet during our climb, we just lower our nose and just do a lookout. Alright, then we can put our nose back up on the horizon and we'll climb to 2,000 feet today. So I'll talk you through the level. Let's just lower the nose a little bit. About there is good. Alright. A little bit of rudder. Alright, so as we reach 1,950 feet, we lower the nose. So lower the nose now, back to that half screen attitude. Power, back to 5,000, alright? So the only time we change up that power, attitude, speed, trim is at the top of climb, because obviously we want our aircraft to speed up a little bit, otherwise we'll be spending all day at 85 knots.
Yeah.
Alright, so you can see the Gold Coast down there?
Yeah.
Alright, there's IKEA, the back of IKEA in through there. Alright, Springwood and everything.
It's really beautiful.
Isn't it? The world is much more beautiful at 2,000 or 3,000 feet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Alright. So do you want to do a turn with me? I'll show you a turn.
Yep, sure.
Alright, so we're just going to turn about 90 degrees, or a bit over 90, or a bit less probably. So see that mountain just through there, that little peak?
Yep.
Alright, so we're just going to do it together. Alright, so when we turn, we do bank, balance, and back pressure, alright?
Yep.
So we'll just do a medium level turn. Just going to do our lookout, alright, so we're all clear.
Yep.
Alright, so bank, balance with our ball, and a little bit of back pressure, okay? So that's about the attitude that we're looking for, alright? So try and remember that picture there. Alright, so we'll roll out here. Whenever we do anything, we anticipate a little bit. Alright, so I'm just going to do another lookout, and then we're going to turn ourselves back to Mount Stapleton, alright? A little bit of bank, balance, and back pressure. So you should be seeing the horizon scraping through about the middle of the screen, the middle of the nose there.
Yep.
Actually, we might just go that little bit further to this one here, and that points us in a nice direction. All right, so do you want to try one for yourself?
Yep.
All right, so I'm just going to do a lookout for us. All right, so there you go. I'll just keep my hands here just in case. All right, so bank, balance, and back pressure. So a little bit of rudder there if you can. I'll help you with the rudder. Alrighty, good picture. Just pick up that nose just that little bit. Excellent. So you should be seeing the horizon scrape through around there, and that handlebar almost on the horizon. So about here is good. Alright, and then we'll just do another lookout, and we'll do another left-hand turn, but this time, see those sand dunes over to the left?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll go in that direction, alright?
Yeah.
So bank, balance, a little bit of left ball to keep the ball in the middle, and back pressure. So a bit more back pressure there. because you've got that feeling of that you're descending or climbing. So it might just turn that little bit further. I'll tell you when to roll out. So yeah, about now's good.
Whoa.
Cool. Excellent. So now you can just fly the aeroplane for me for a little bit.
Yep.
You feeling okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And you can see the horizon? Yeah. Next, if you go flying again, we'll just put a few cushions underneath your bum, so we can just get you that bit higher, so you get a bit of better forward visibility.
Yep.
Alright, so you can see just in front of us there's the M1, so just past the nose. Alright, so once we pass the M1, we're going to be turning left. So again, I'll let you turn, I'll just keep my hands here just in case, and I'll talk you through it.
Yep.
Alright, then we're going to point ourselves in the direction of Springwood, so I'll tell you when to roll out, okay?
Yep.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, hey?
It's mind-boggling. Like, when you think about it, Brisbane's just there, and then you can see Gold Coast.
Exactly.
And when you're driving, it takes like half an hour.
Exactly. Takes longer to get to Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So I can fly pretty much to Gold Coast from Archfield in about half an hour. Alright, so round trip it's just over an hour.
Yeah, and like, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome, hey?
Yeah. Can't wait until I grow up and become a pilot.
Yeah, that's awesome. Alright, so what we might do is we'll set ourselves up on a descent, alright? We'll go back down to 1,500 feet. So hand on the throttle, power back to 4,500 RPM, alright? And then, yeah, lower the nose too. So power, attitude, speed, and trim. So attitude's about this for our descent.
Yep.
And then we'll just go down to 1,500 feet, alright? So, but just keeping our eyes outside, because that's what gives us our better indications of what we're doing, alright?
Yep.
So as we're descending, we can do just a very gentle turn to the left. So just a little bit of a turn, not as much bank that we put in before, but just a nice, a nice high radius of turn there. So once we get to the other side of the motorway, we're in the direction that we're pointing to. So just keep us going straight ahead for the time being, otherwise we'll intercept our track.
Yeah.
Alright, so just keep that nose down because we're still trying to descend. Right, now you can start your turn. So just a nice gentle turn, so like that. Excellent. Alrighty, and the aircraft's quite balanced too, so that's really good. Cool. Alright, so we'll keep going down, and remember, we always anticipate what we're going to do. So at 1,550 feet, hand on the throttle back to 5,000 RPM, so power, attitude, half screen. Excellent speed, and then I'll trim it. So once you're comfortable, all right. So I'll just take over now.
Yep.
Taking over. All right. I'm just going to make sure it's trimmed right. All right. That's all right. I'll just get us in the direction that we need to be pointing to, and then you can have the aircraft again. So see those high rises on the nose there?
Yes.
Yep. All right. So handing over to you, and you can keep us about 1,500 feet, but make sure you keep your eyes outside. All right.
Yep.
So just lower that nose just very slightly. There you go.
23.6. Runway 28 left, rolls and departure south, frequency 118.1. Circuit runway 28 right. Helicopter area Alpha active. Taxiway Alpha between taxiways Alpha 4 and Alpha 5 not available. Your work's in progress. Wind 230 degrees 8 knots. Cabo K. Temperature 19er. QNH 1022. On first contact, large ground door tower. Over receipt of information. Echo.
Cool. So just take me to the left a little bit, so just a bit more towards those high rises there. Excellent. There you go. That'll get us there quite nicely. Alright, so obviously there's the city, and then you can see Mount Gravatt in behind there, and then there's Garden City, and there's the IKEA, and then that's Springwood down there. Alright, can you think where Archerfield might be?
Over there?
So that's what a lot of people think, but see that bigger one with all the hangars around?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one there.
Sling 8665, would you prefer the glide to runway left?
Hey Sam,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Change runway.
So that's Brisbane. So that's in that direction. Archfield's out there.
Runway 28 left, 8665.
Will just get us a little bit more power. So it's just going back a little bit. Alright, so just keep us pointing towards those high rises there. Alright, so just lower that nose slightly. Alright, we've just gained a little bit of height, so just lower the nose. Alright, at this point you can start turning us in the direction of Archerfield. So I'll tell you when to stop, because we'll be cleared for the southern runway.
Yep.
Naturally, we are now operations area.
You're right. Yeah, just from Mount Cotton, there's probably a bit of bumps. Alright, that's good. Just going to do my radio call now. Archer Tower, Sling 8489 is target 1500, received echo inbound.
Sling 8489, Archer Tower, join final runway 28 left.
Join final 28 left, Sling 8489. Alright, so see the main runway there?
50, change runway 28 right, number 1.
So we can't quite see the left-hand one yet, so just point us to the southern end of the field. Alrighty. So, excellent. There you go. About there's good. That should help us intercept our final. Alright, so before we land, we always do our pre-landing check. So brakes, undercarriage is fixed, mixture's not applicable, fuel pumps are on, lanes are on, all our switches are on. I'll change my transponder now. I'm on the correct frequency. So, and you're all done up still?
Yep.
And we're good to go. Alright, so just keeping an eye on that height because we don't want to go into Brisbane airspace. Just lower that nose there. Excellent, but you've done a really good job today.
Thank you. It's first time as well.
Yeah, of course. So that's the thing, alright? So it's all about having a good play and just getting used to the controls. Alright, so now you can kind of see that southern runway.
Yeah.
So you can see
5350, runway 28 right, cleared to land.
So you can see the main runway, the taxiway then, and then the southern runway. So we'll be landing on that southern runway. So just, gradually just point me a bit more into that direction. Excellent. All right, good job.
Really different compared to flight simulators.
Oh, it is. I think they're harder to fly than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the proper ones that are at like flying schools and things like that, they're pretty good, but I think the computer ones are a bit different to the real thing. Alright, so just turn our nose to the left just a tiny bit, just so we don't go onto the... Excellent, there's good.
Whoa. Just, whoa.
Yeah, you'll get that. Alright, so put your hand on the throttle now, and then in a moment I'll tell you to take the power back to 4,500 RPM.
Sling 8489, runway 28 left, clear to land.
28 left, clear to land, Sling 8489. Alright, so we're over Mains Road now, so you can pull the power back to 4,500 RPM. Alrighty. Excellent. Alright, so just keep our descent going a little bit until we get to 1,000 feet, and then I'll take over. Get us set up on a nice descent. Alright, excellent. I'm going to take over now. So taking over. Excellent. Alrighty. So just get us back on profile a little bit. Alright, so because we come in at 1,500 feet, our normal approach starts about 1,000 feet. So that's why I just get us to descend to around about 1,000 feet at that point. And then what I can do is I can bring our power back to 3,300 RPM. Alrighty, as our aircraft slows down and gets in the wide arc, I can deploy my first stage of flap. Alrighty, so at this point I'm thinking about my aiming point, my attitude, and my airspeed. So, alrighty.
Tango Kilo Juliet, Cessna 172, holding point Bravo 1.
Not bad for my first one. I'm just joking.
Tango Kilo Juliet, Archer Tower, confirm for circuits.
Affirm for circuits, Tango Kilo Juliet.
Tango Kilo Juliet, runway 28 right, clear for takeoff.
So when we apply full brakes, we just keep the pressure off our nose wheel, just because obviously they're not as strong as our main landing gear, and we don't want to cause any damage there. All right, so just